Well, first I tried to go to officer school. I didn't make it through. And then I ended up enlisting in the Marine Corps. And I went down to Paris Island on June 6, 2006. I remember the specific date because it was 666, and everyone was joking about it being the day of the devil. Marines are called devil dogs. So everyone thought this was a very auspicious, promising start to our Marine Corps careers, that we were soon to be devil dogs showing up on Paris Island, which is a very famous recruiting station, recruiting depot, on the day of the devil. And the 2 points I just want to emphasize about boot camp, one is called depersonalization, and the other is dehumanization. So first I'll talk about depersonalization. When you first show up at boot camp, right off the bat, you're not allowed to use first person. So you refer to yourself as this recruit. So if you have to go to the bathroom, you say, "Sir, this recruit requests permission to go to the head." Sir, head is the Navy term, and the Marine Corps is part of the Department of the Navy, so we use Navy terminology. Head is the term for bathroom, and you say that for everything. This recruit requests permission. This recruit requests permission. That. So you're never saying I. I is a banned word at boot camp, and you also are always speaking in unison with all of your fellow recruits. So there are times when you're speaking individually, although always in third person, but most of the time you're speaking, it's a call and response. So instructors will say something and we're all trained to say something in return. Usually it's aye, sir, yes, sir, no, sir. So the thinking behind this is when you're at war, when you're on the front lines, you can't think as an individual. If you're thinking as an individual, you're going to get yourself hurt. And more importantly, you're going to get all those around you hurt. And you're also not going to be an effective killer, which is really what the training is about. It's about training us to either be the actual trigger pullers that are killing, or to be support elements that are supporting those that are killing. And in any case, you're a much more effective killing machine if you're thinking as a single organism, a single unit, as opposed to as an individual. Because if you're thinking of an individual and you're just thinking about covering protecting your own ass, then you might run away during a scary moment, or you might not follow orders during a moment where orders really need to be followed. So that's the reasoning behind that, is really kind of sucking, any sense of real unique self out of us as individuals. And then going along with that, the kind of flip side of that is dehumanization. So it's not just about kind of sucking the personality out of the recruit. It's also about sucking the humanity out of those. Many of us are going to be tasked with killing or fighting in wars ahead. Now, there was a study done after World War II. It's a famous study done by S.L.A. Marshall. And it concluded that the overwhelming majority of frontline American troops and British troops during World War II did not actually aim in on the people that they were fighting. Most didn't even pull the trigger during firefights. And if they did, they tended to fire to the left, the right, above, below. They rarely aimed in directly on the person that they were supposedly trying to kill during these firefights, which is a really shocking finding. And there was a lot of debate. There still is, but they've done many similar studies since then about that period, about World War II, and most have basically backed up the general thesis or the general finding of that study. So anyways, the American military and the British military and other militaries were freaked out by this. I mean, this seemed like incredibly inefficient fighting. So they basically introduced a whole new training regimen that centered on this idea of dehumanization. How can we condition fighters, Marines, soldiers, what have you, to actually aim in on the person they're supposed to kill right off the bat, and just, and waste as few bullets as possible and kill as many of the enemy as possible in as short a period as possible. So they introduced all sorts of mechanisms. I'm just going to mention one right now, but there's so many. So one that I remember is we spent hours on end in the woods with a bunch of stacked tires that were basically shaped as high as your average military aged male. I mean, that was kind of the thinking behind this. And we had bayonets at the tip of our rifles. So what they weren't really teaching us how to use a bayonet, although to some extent maybe they were, but it was really about instilling us a certain kind of aggression that would allow us to kill another human being really at command, or in an immediate, instantaneous sense. And so we went hours on end with this bayonet in front of these stacked tires. We would say, kill, kill, kill Haji. So the Hajj is the holy pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca. And a Haji is one who makes the holy pilgrimage to the holy city of Mecca. So it's actually a term of respect among Muslims. And it was turned into a term of disrespect by the United States military, and so its use was very much to dehumanize these actual people. And what I mean by dehumanize is just like you and I have memories of childhood, we have memories of best friends, we have memories of family members, we have memories of our favorite moments, our worst moments, our most scared moments, our first loves, our disappointments. We have hopes and dreams of what we want to do with our lives. We have fears about what might happen to us. All those thoughts about other human beings, if you have any of those thoughts with a weapon in your hand and you're primed to kill someone, those thoughts will get in the way of the killing. I actually do want to talk about my own kind of conversion experience. Yeah. So my views changed a lot. It actually changed even before I went to Afghanistan. It was kind of just right off the bat, the very initial levels of very initial stages in the training. I was thinking, I was starting to have doubts about the mission because again, I came in as a true believer, and right off the bat, there was definitely a disconnect between how we were being trained, the kind of mentality that we were all caught up in, and then the official mission that I really believed in, which was nation building or winning the so-called hearts and minds of the people. So right off the bat, I saw a tension there. How can all of us that are being trained basically to be killers, even those of us who were in support roles, which is what I was, still were very much had the killer, kill, kill, kill mentality. In fact, kill, kill, kill is a common chant or way of speaking in the Marine Corps. You're constantly yelling, kill, kill, kill. Even if you're greeting someone, at least when I was in, sometimes instead of saying good afternoon, you just say kill. The other guy would say kill. It was a very killer mindset. How can you have that killer mindset and then also, win the hearts and minds of the people that you're policing, and fighting. A lot of times it was hard. It was unclear who was fighting you and who was just a quote unquote civilian.